Call to order public session. If everybody will please join us in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So thank you for joining us tonight. I think this is our second live meeting in the last, I don't even know how many months, so thank you for coming out. I do want to say a great big thank you to the public for coming out and supporting the budget yesterday. We really appreciate it. It's going to allow the district to move forward in some great ways and do some great things for the students. So we do appreciate your support yesterday. Thank you for that. That leads us to the superintendent's report.
Okay. First off, I would like to reiterate Mr. Maxwell's comments. Certainly, this has been a challenging year. I think that the community passing our budget is a clear representation that they are supporting what we're doing. And so a big thank you to everyone in our community that came out and voted for our budget, and especially to our teachers, our administrators, our Board of Education, and everybody that worked so hard this entire year and did everything we needed to. And we're very flexible to provide the kind of quality education we did for the students of Moriches. I'd like to begin the presentations by inviting Dr. Reggio up to recognize some middle school students.
Good evening. I'm here to honor two middle school students who are with us virtually tonight. They were nominated by their teachers. The first one is Samira Treadwell Gordon, and both students are being honored tonight for the learner profile trait of being balanced. So Samira was nominated by Miss Harrison, her road teacher, and this is what Miss Harrison had to say about her nomination and about Samira. Samira was a full distance learner prior to spring break, and during this time she worked very hard to complete all her assignments in load and surpassed many of her peers on assignments by adding extra flair. She asks appropriate questions and makes sure to understand her assignments. This shows that she is able to balance at-home life with school work efficiently, and I've been very proud of her progress outside of the quote normal classroom setting. Having her in school now has been amazing, and I know she will handle the transition well. Congratulations, Samira Treadwell Gordon. Okay, the next student I'm honoring tonight is an 8th grader, Sophia Scuria. Sophia was nominated by Ms. McDermott because she's involved in many extracurricular activities, such as clubs and varsity sports. She's the first to volunteer, keeps her deadlines, and always follows up on her responsibilities. As a very busy student athlete, Sophia also maintains excellent grades, exemplifying the learner profile trait of balanced. Congratulations, 8th grader Sophia Scuria.
Ms. Begonia?
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Okay, so for the high school, we're going to recognize 10 students tonight for to represent the 10 learner profile traits. So our first student that we're recognizing, let me see this a little bit down, is Jonathan Mercurio. And that smile that you see there, he really does have that smile all the time. And it was so nice to be able to see it because usually they're masked. So when I get to take this picture, it excites me. So it was nice to see him smiling. He truly is balanced. Mrs. Knowles actually recommended him and talked about how he can balance sports and church and music. He was one of our top talent show, second place winner. So, I mean, to say that he is balanced is truly a true representation of him. So congratulations to Jonathan. Ian Himmelstein is being recognized for being a communicator. And if you know Ian, that is spot on for him. Mrs. Pruden had first recommended him. I second that, and I'm pretty sure Ms. Harkin can third that because he is part of the play right now. So get out there this weekend and see Ian perform. It's really going to be a great, so that was just a shout out to Greece as well. So there you go, Ian, thank you, and congratulations to Ian. Carlos Gonzalez is going to be recognized as an inquirer, and he was recommended by Mr. Dougherty and Mr. McCoy for really asking questions and helping further the conversation to kind of expand everybody's knowledge in the class. And I also want to recognize Carlos because he's part of our BOCES program, and he was actually recognized as Employee of the Month through the BOCES program. So congratulations to Carlos, 2-time silver. Lanaya Franklin is being recognized for being knowledgeable, and she is our Student of the Month recommended by Mr. Melandro. She is a delight if you have met her, and it was really exciting to be able to tell her that she's Student of the Month. She was excited to hear it. She's really a positive influence on her peers, and the knowledge that she uses, she doesn't just keep to herself, she spreads it, and that's one of the best parts of the knowledgeable profile. So congratulations to Lanaya. Julia Pascucci is being recognized as being open-minded. Mr. Mishler recommended her first and foremost, and really talked about how she doesn't jump to any conclusions. She listens to all the information that is given to her, thinks about it, and then makes her own determinations. And she also encourages her fellow classmates to do the same. So truly representing the open-minded character trait. Congratulations to Julia. Savannah Reyes is being recognized as the principal. And this was from Ms. Segreto. She was the first one to recognize Savannah for really going above and beyond in the classroom. And it was exciting again to recognize her, and congratulations to Savannah. Yasmin Castro is being recognized as being reflective. Yasmin was actually recommended by 2 people. One was Mr. Melandro, her criminal justice teacher, and one was Mr. Mack, who was her guidance counselor. Mr. Mack actually noticed that she was doing so well in a college level course and really pushing herself, spoke to Mr. Melandro, and they talked about how great her essays were and her writing was when they were doing reflections on current events. And the conversation between them, even not even having a specific conversation with Yasmin, was really nice to hear. She was excited to hear it, so it was nice. So congratulations, Yasmin. Chris Formasano is a thinker. Chris definitely is a thinker. If you know him, he is always asking questions. He is always pushing himself and taking everything to the next level. He is able to make connections. Mr. Winslow recognized him. And in his history class, he's able to not just correlate the things that are happening currently, but he's able to bring things from the past and attach them to things that are going on right now. And sometimes his classmates don't even know where he comes up with it, but he's pretty spot on. So it's great to be able to recognize him. So congratulations to Chris. Kristen Musamechi is being recognized for being caring. She is a wonderful student. She is virtual right now, and she is not only being able to work so hard in school, she helps her family at home. She is able to really go above and beyond. And when she is in school, she's not just worrying about getting her work done. She's worrying about that her friends, her peers are really having a good experience in the classroom, which you don't always see all the time. So the fact that she is being recognized for being caring is really a great thing for Kristen. We're very excited. Mom was very excited. Mrs. Pruden was the one who recommended her. So congratulations to Kristen. And the last student that we're going to recognize at the high school is Bella Burke. She is being recognized for being a risk taker. Mrs. Hessian has nothing but great things to say about her. And I also we were kind of discussing which character trait to recognize Bella for, and I won with risk taker. And the reason is because she was really unsure about the IB program when we were first trying to make this decision. She was really on the fence, she wasn't sure, and she took the risk, and she is doing really well. She's grown so much this year, been talking to her mom and really talking to her, today we were talking, and it's really nice to see that hard work paying off. And so I like I said, I won. She was risk taker. That's the one that we went with for tonight. So congratulations to Bella and to all of our students.
Thank you, Mr. Milligan, Dr. Richard. At this time, we have some staff recognition, so I would like to ask Mr. Ritchie. Come on up. Oh, and Ms. Jackson, I think, too, also part of this. So I'll do the intro first, and then you can challenge.
Steal my thunder.
Sure. So, every year, Scope has an annual awards dinner where they provide districts with an opportunity to recognize people for outstanding service to their districts. They have multiple different categories that they allow districts to choose individuals. And this year we put it out, and I asked our administrators to come up with some people. And we talked it through. Two individuals stood out as individuals that we wanted to recognize. And today we are here to recognize two people, one for staff service and one for teaching service. And I'm going to ask Mr. Ritchie and Ms. Jackson to make a presentation.
Thank you. So, working with our staff, obviously we have, staff of amazing people that we're with. So decisions like this to try to nominate, specific people for these categories is usually very difficult. And not that this was not difficult, but sometimes people just make your job a little easier. So, working every day with Ms. Lopez and Mrs. Knowles, it's kind of, it's a little surreal. They just have a way, a knack of making the job seem like, even when I'm getting overwhelmed at times, they make it seem like it's just another obstacle. We're going to get through this. There's never anything that's not achievable. And when we're trying to constantly push the envelope in education and in our school, and we're constantly asking more of educators and more of all of our staff, to have two people with us that it's never an issue is really it's an unbelievable feat to not only have them, to work with them, but then to have people with such high character that are constantly concerned about the kids, constantly putting them first, making sure that we're giving all of the opportunities that we can to them. And, aside from the fact that it's like having additional work moms, like, they're always looking out for my best interest too, just selfishly, me having these people on staff, they're always kind of have my back and are picking up the pieces before they fall down and making sure that, that the kids have an amazing experience while they're at Clayton Huey. So I couldn't be more blessed to have two people like this working, alongside me. And I know that their colleagues all feel the same. And I don't know, Mrs. Jackson, if you want to throw anything else in. Yeah, sorry, I have a tendency to ramble sometimes, but in all honesty, thank you for everything that you do for, our staff and our students. It really does not go unnoticed. I know they appreciate it, and we love you both. All right. So first, I want to recognize Mrs. Jessica Knowles for an appreciation for your outstanding service to the Center Moriches School District as a Support Staff Service Award. Congratulations. You are quiet. All right.
they each receive a plaque, and the program that would have been given out at the dinner, which includes a paragraph describing their outstanding contributions.
I just broke the mic stand.
That's not how you drop a mic, Dennis.
Thanks, Bill. Piece of cake. Okay, we're just gonna hold it now. If this current event is not indicative of my relationship with Stacy Lopez, I don't know what is. This is the same level of laughter that happens every day. So the next up is Stacy Lopez, in appreciation for your outstanding service to the Moriches School District Teacher Service Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dennis and Danielle. Congratulations, Stacy and Jeff. So the next presentation is one that we're very pleased to give, actually. I said to the board earlier, I said, in my entire career in education, I've never had the unique opportunity that we have today. When I was meeting with our administrative team to talk about the federal money, the American Recovery Plan money that we need to develop a plan for, it was kind of one of those aha moments where I said, usually we're sitting in budget conversations and we're thinking about how can we do more with less. And in this situation, when districts need to be at their best, our legislators stepped up and delivered the resources so that we can be at our best. And I think that that's a great opportunity for us to put a program in place that will make a difference for the students at Moriches. And so one of the things that we needed to do was develop a plan for the federal stimulus money that's coming in. This is separate and apart from our budget that was passed, but it is additional supplemental money that we can utilize to focus on whether there's learning loss or enrichment programs and things like that. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie Laughlin, who's going to take us through a preliminary plan we have for spending the federal stimulus money. This plan will kind of, for the next month, we'll kind of go through it and talk a little bit more about it. This is preliminary, and then we intend to adopt the plan in the June meeting and post our plan by July 1st as per our mandate. So, Carrie?
So as Dr. Massera said, we're going to go through, there's 3 different various revenue sources that are being provided to school districts. And it is starting with what's called the CRRSA money, CRRSA funding, which is non-restricted federal spending. We kind of have carte blanche of what we want to do with that money. The ARP funding, which targets learning loss, it is restricted in quite a few different categories. But for good things. So we're excited about that and enhancing some program offerings that we currently have, as well as UPK funding. Currently we have half-day UPK, but there is funding available now to implement full-day UPK. So we're going to briefly go over the 3 different categories and the plans that the administrative team has been working through in each of these different areas. So we will start with the CRRSA money, which stands for the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act, otherwise known as CRRSA, is what we're all calling it. As you know, in education, we like acronyms. So everything has one, and we will go through these federal fundings with them as well. The package is from the December 2020 federal stimulus package that was released. It's $1.4 million for the Moriches School District. It can be used through September of 2023, so we have multiple years to use this funding. It can also offset expenditures that are in the current budget. So things we have just passed in the budget last evening that we were planning on using, we can actually use this money to offset some of those costs, which creates fund balance in the future years, which provides fiscal stability going forward. So our recommendation for the $1.4 million is to allocate a custodian. This year, we hired a custodian using the CARES Act funding, which was another federal package that we got this year. And that reason was due to the extra cleaning protocols we had to put in place. We needed the extra body. So we will continue to maintain that position through the funding with the CRRSA money. We would like to reinstate one of our part-time ground staff that we have eliminated from the budget in the past years, and that's just due to budgetary constraints that we could not support it going forward. The monitors, we did increase our monitor staff this year to make sure we have social distancing in the hallways, the lunch supervisions and all of those things. So that's going to help kind of put some money back into the general fund balance, pay us back basically on that position. A portion of summer school, we've had a lot of students fall behind in their work due to being shut down last year, the virtual learning this year. So we're trying to enhance that summer school program for credit recovery and help out in their Regents prep work that they're doing going forward in the high school. We will be recommending hiring a technology staff person, network support staff person. And that is simply because we bought a lot of Chromebooks this year. Our technology has enhanced, as we all know, by going virtual and a lot of distance learning, a lot of software programs that we've added. We've upgraded a lot of systems. And right now we have a staff of 2 doing it for the entire district. So we are recommending to actually add 1 more person to that staff to help that team out. And the last piece is something that the district's been working on the past year is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we are recommending to create liaison positions. It will be a stipend position in all 3 buildings to help move that task force forward. So speaking, of technology, another reason why we need that additional support. These are the purchases we're looking to allocate to this funding. We're going to do a threat assessment on our computers, and that's basically to make sure we can, there's no cyber attacks that can make their way through our system. Checking just really how secure we really are. We've been pushing this off because of the expense of it, but it is something we really do need to do, and the auditors do recommend it. So we are anxious for the 21-22 school year to actually move forward with this particular audit of our computerized system. We have purchasing various software programs to support the virtual learners, server upgrades for all the computers we've been buying, and upgrading some of our camera systems for security and those type of things. We upgraded our internet service this current school year in order to basically make sure we can run all these computers we've been buying without interruption on Wi-Fi, which is a hefty expense, but it has been a successful one. And we are going to be continuing that, and we're continuing to monitor it to see if we need any further upgrades. But we will be allocating this money to offset some of that expense we incurred in the 2020-21 school year. K2, while we purchased Chromebooks this past year, K2 is working with carts, but we are investigating other options for them, more touchscreen type options, tablets. Mr. Ritchie is working with the technology team as well as the teaching staff to come up what is the best option for our youngest learners in use of technology. So while that might not happen in the 21-22 school year, that might happen in 22-23 as they explore and make sure that they make the right decision for the K2 grades. We are in 22-23 anticipating to replace some Chromebooks, some of our very old Chromebooks, not the ones we just purchased, but we have many that are going to be aging out and needing replacement, and it's been very difficult to get a replacement plan into the general fund budget. Now, with thanks to this funding, this will help us replace a lot of those that are going to start aging out and not being able to be used by our students. So in 23 school year, we will go ahead and replace some of those. We are looking to purchase Chromebooks for teachers for one-to-one support. If we have gone one-to-one in the upper grades, and we now know we need to have the teachers in that same level of the students. So we're looking to make purchases to support them in that area. And then some areas for our clubs, our extracurriculars, which are running virtually right now, and we're hopeful that come September, everyone's back in person and we can do more. The yearbook club is in need of some new cameras, media broadcasting supplies, both in the high school and middle school. The middle school is looking to put a smart TV in the cafeteria to utilize as an instructional piece to, on rainy days when kids can't go outside during lunch period, they can show movies and keep the kids entertained in there, as well as use it though for presentations, for staff meetings and those type of things. It would be a great educational resource. Portable smartboards for the high school is something that they have requested to be able to move around the building as needed, as well as a portable speaker system to be used up in the high school. As you know, some things have been moved outside that we've been doing, and we may be able to continue doing some great things outside, so having a big speaker system will assist us in that. Some facilities upgrades that we're excited about that we've not been able to do. As you know, with the capital outlay project that's in the general fund budget that was approved last night, we're replacing some ventilation as well as the water fountains district-wide. However, we weren't able to target all of the ventilation fans. So we are actually going to replace the fans. There's some in the high school cafeteria as well as in the kindergarten wing of Clayton Huey that we are looking to replace. Clayton Huey is looking to create an outdoor sensory path or some playground. As you can see the picture there, that's just a sample of something that they're looking to put on the blacktop for the students during recess. Middle school is looking for some courtyard beautification supplies and materials. Update the middle school, high school outside basketball courts for use throughout the school day. Middle school faculty room to update. It has not been updated in many, many years. And it is where many of our teachers go to during their prep periods and those type of things. So making it a more inviting space would be much more productive for our staff. We want to create outdoor learning spaces for the high school. We want to create a mindfulness room for high school as well. And our life skills students are looking to open a school store. So they would like to be able to have the funding to get that up and running, convert a space, I believe it's an office space in the high school already, that they would like to convert, and our life skills students would be running that annually as part of their program. So some educational supplies and support down in Clayton Huey, some add to the FLES program. They're looking to just enhance some program materials down there. Diversity, equity, inclusion. As I said, we have that initiative going this year, and we're looking to continue to enhance it. There's much training that needs to be done with that, so there'll be significant professional development going into next year, and we'll use this funding to support that. Learning materials, K-12, will be purchased for all grades. And the reason we would use the grant for this particular funding is it's a one-time expense. Once we purchase those materials, it's not being purchased year after year. We would be able to reutilize those in every grade level and just kind of supplement out as new materials become available. Again, in Clayton Huey, enhance their Just Words program and Inquiry Lab supplies. Other areas of professional development district-wide, whether it be in the lower levels of instruction, special ed instruction, IB instruction, curriculum writing, we do need to enhance that and continue with those projects going forward. PYP resources as they enter into their next phase of approval for that, as well as some outdoor recreational supplies for the middle school area. They do need to upgrade some supplies for the students over there. So in summary, it's a lot of money. It's 1.4 million. There's a lot of good things that we are recommending to use it for to help our students and staff. We will be offsetting some of the current expenses that we do have in the budget, as I said, to help us create fund balance and fiscal stability going forward. But then there are many one-time initiatives that we are putting in place for this. With regards to the staffing positions that are in here, it is our intent to evaluate them annually and determine if they're continuing to be needed. We believe that they will be based on our current situations that we're working under. And as the money does dry up, we would eventually roll those into the general fund budget if needed. So the American Rescue Plan is the second set of funding that we're working with. And that's the ARP, or some of us are calling it ARPA, many different acronyms on that one. That's from the March stimulus package. So that's $1.6 million, and we have till September of 2024 to utilize this. It is restricted for long-term planning as well as for learning loss, and it is to supplement our programs. So we cannot offset any current costs that we're running. It is to actually create all new programs with this funding. So there's a lot of restrictions and a lot of caveats with it. One is a 20% set aside. We have to take 20% of what they deem to be a 90% allocation. And it has to go towards summer learning or extended day program, after-school programs. And it's for the principals to look at and use the information they have, the data that they have, that we're gathering over the course of the past year to determine what's the best impact to help these students get over the line. And we really got to focus on our English language learners, our children with disabilities, disadvantaged students, minority students, and really help those students that have struggled the most in the past year. Another piece of it is an evidence-based set-aside, they're calling it. It's about 5%, which you can see there, 653,000. That has to carry out activities of learning loss. And there's so many things that could fall into this category. It's not as restrictive. So we have to become creative with what we can do with this particular bucket of money. And then the two categories, not less than 1% for both, is for summer-based enrichment as well as after-school comprehensive enrichment programs. So we'll start with summer learning. That is going to be the first program we're implementing, as July is just around the corner. We've been meeting as a team constantly in the past few weeks as this information is being deciphered from the state and the federal government. We're receiving information. So high school is looking to bring in their ENL students and have them do credit recovery through the ENL program in order to gain ELA credits. We are working out the specific details of it, but that is the intent of using these funds for that. K through 8, we are meeting with Scope, which is an educational provider that comes into schools. It's an outside agency, but they come in and help run various programs. And they would help run an ENL program for our K through 8 students. It'd be a 4-week program, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, and we would be providing transportation to these learners so that they can get into the buildings and really make progress and catch up to maybe where they've lost. The next is summer enrichment. We again are working with Scope with programs for K-8. They have various programs that they are running. It's two 2-week sessions, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, similar to the ENL program. However, the curriculums will be different. The principals are working through what those will look like. Flyers will be going out to the community to let them know it will be open to all. Parents will share some of the cost on this, as we cannot pay for the whole thing with the amount of money allocated to it, but we will be offsetting most of the costs and asking the parents to just pay for a slight portion, which would be the registration fee and a low cost to the program. And children would have the option to pick just 2 weeks or all 4 weeks as they feel fit. High school, they are looking at different enrichment programs to be both a combination possibly of in-person as well as virtual, tying it to some IB research and AP work. The students already get summer packets, AP summer packets that they do, as well as IB work. The goal would be to possibly have teachers meet with those students on a weekly basis just to help them along. I know myself as a parent, my children usually waited to that night before school started to do that AP packet. It was not very successful for numerous reasons. So that help would be great for those students to really tackle those projects and that work at the right pace, really, and best organization. High school is also exploring offering enrichment in different areas, the special areas, the arts, the music, athletics, to really bring those kids back into the building and to do some things that a lot of them missed out on. As we all know, our music program, you're sitting in where they're practicing, you see their names on the seats because they still have to be distant. They can't perform as they used to as a group. So we're looking to start keeping them going with their special areas that they excel in. So with regards to educational support staff, this is where we're going to target the 20% funding of learning loss. We are looking to add 2 FTEs AIS support, 1 at Clayton Huey and 1 in the middle school. We are looking to add a reading teacher down at Clayton Huey. We will like to add a mental health support, 1 FTE district-wide. The specifics of that particular position is unclear yet. We are working through that as a team to determine what our best need is, what that position looks like. ENL support has been requested up at the high school, grades 9 through 12, 1 FTE for an ENL teacher. And as we said before, we are going to continue to evaluate these positions. Are they going to continue to be needed? Are they going to be full-time? The AIS, ENL, will they be split between buildings? So every year we will evaluate how we're allocating the money towards these specific positions and where we need them the most. The last part is after-school enrichment. We've not worked through too many details on this yet, as we do have some time. September is quite a few months away. We've been focusing right now on our summer programs that we're going to offer. But we're looking to enhance the instructional practices, grades K through 12. We will be providing transportation for after-school enrichment because we do want to encourage all students to attend. And we know transportation is usually a big issue for families. So, high school's looking at certain things that could potentially bring in motivational speakers after school, people to help with diversity, the DEI program, or to help with social emotional issues, and people maybe that have successfully come out of certain situations during COVID and how they've done it. So again, the team is getting creative with what we can do based on the grade levels for the people, for the students, and what really would target each building best. So the requirements for this plan is open for comment by all stakeholders, the staff, the students, the Board of Education, our parents, the community as a whole. So tonight is, as we said, our first presentation as we've been working through this plan. It's going to be posted up on the website. The PowerPoint as well as the written plan will be posted tomorrow up on the website with how you can reach out if you have comments, questions, concerns, ideas. Please share them with the building principals or with district office, and we'd be happy to hear it. In June, we will bring all of it back to the board and the community to finalize the plan and have it adopted and posted on the website by July 1st as per the federal requirement. So the last piece of funding, as I said earlier, was UPK. We're excited about this program. Currently, we have half-day UPK at Starbright. They have 48 students that they educate for us. It's 100% funded through New York State. We do not ask the taxpayers for money for this program at all. And it also follows the New York State curriculum. 21-22, there was a new chunk of money added to the pie for it, is we could keep half-day program, and then they gave us additional money to add a full-day program. Or we could take that half-day program, turn it into full-day to make it a bigger pot of money for full-day. And that is what our intent is if we can get our youngest learners in earlier and start learning curriculum as early as possible, that is what our goal is. So we will convert the current half-day program at Starbright to full-day. We do have to go through an RFP process for it now, since the program is changing. That was released last week. Providers are starting to give us their responses. Those are due, I believe, June 4th. So after that date, we will open up those responses. We will meet as a team to go through them, evaluate them, and then make our decision as to who the providers will be for the 21-22 school year. Now, I know the lottery system has happened. We've been working through UPK. All of that process will be happening again, but we will be reaching out to those families that have received information already. So the full-day program is 5 hours a day. It is our intent to bring two full-day classes into Clayton Huey and have 2 full-day classes off-site. We are also looking at wraparound care being provided at Clayton Huey for those full-day pre-K classes, being that the off-site would obviously probably be added childcare locations such as Starbright is right now, who does offer the wraparound care. So we are working with vendors to see what type of wraparound care we can bring into our building for that same service. So more to come on this as we work through, again, details, but we really have to wait until we review what the providers provided, the RFP process. So again, at the next June meeting, we will definitely have more of an update, but we'll be reaching out prior to that to our pre-K families to make sure that they have all this information as well. So as we stated before, these plans are fluid. They're multi-year plans. They are 2-3 years out, and it's hard to determine exactly what we need 3 years from today. Who would have thought 3 years ago we'd be in this situation that we're working under, or that we would have all these fundings to do these great things with. So, we do ask for patience as we work through this. We are getting information on a daily basis from the state and the federal government with requirements to spending these funds. The applications to spend the funds have not yet been released, so we're waiting on that in order to gain access to the money. It is changing on a daily basis. We are all gathering as much as we can, having continuous conversations as an administrative team to make sure we do the best that we can for our students here at St. Moriches with quite a bit of money. It's about $3 million that we have to work with over the next 3 years that we can do really great things with. So we will continue to update the plan as we move through it and as we get through this first summer and see what worked, what didn't work, feedback from families, and make changes into the next summer. So please be patient with us as we do work through that. But we do appreciate the support of the board and the community for these programs that we are recommending going forward. Does the board have any questions on this?
Carrie, I think you said that they're going to be reaching out to the pre-K parents. Right now, my kids are going into pre-K, but especially your first child, all of them, it's like a stressful time. Do you know what the time frame is that we're going to reach out to them? If they have a question, who should they reach out to? Because it's a big change.
Mr. Ritchie and I can get together tomorrow to kind of formulate that plan. I mean, we can even start reaching out, as soon as tomorrow. We've been working through these details, but as long as the board supports us going to the full day, 4 classes full day, we will get that information out immediately.
Carrie, I just want to reiterate, right, this is federally funded. It's not
It is
coming
all
out of our
federally
budget.
funded, no taxpayers' dollars. It is not part of the general fund budget. You will never see the general fund budget increase because of it. Should some of these costs become recurring and become part of the general fund, we will make it clear in the budget presentations that that's where it came from. But this will have no impact on the taxpayers.
But it could replace line items in our general budget.
The CRRSA money can do that, yes.
Right.
And we intend to do that with portions. So in this current year, in June, we will reallocate some of the expenses, about $200,000 to CRRSA, and that frees up fund balance for us in order to give us a little bit more flexibility with our reserves.
Right, maybe fund the capital reserve.
A capital reserve, the repair reserve, payback, the reserves we've
Right.
used and what we plan to use in future. So like I said, it gives us flexible, stability going forward, which we really have not had the past few years. So we're excited about that.
I'm excited about you, full day UPK.
Hey, one thing too, I know we talked earlier about our employees now would be able to work still down the road.
Correct. So the scope enrichment program, they're getting inundated with many districts calling them for help because we do have all this funding and it's new to a lot of districts. Some districts already offer enrichment programs over the summers or some certain different type of summer programs. So they are being inundated and they will have to hire in order to fulfill a lot of programs. So there's the summer program that they would run here in-house. They will advertise through us with the hopes to actually hire our teachers to run those programs. That would be our intent, as our teachers know our students best, and it would be a seamless transition.
Carrie, is there a way, based on what's been laid out so far, to estimate in 3 years what the recurring costs might look like that we would have to fund at that point?
Yes.
Phase in?
Yes. It's going to depend mostly on the support staff, but we do anticipate that we could use, the reading teacher would remain, the ENL teacher would remain, the AIS teachers, the tech support would remain. Those would really be the recurring costs that we would try to roll back in. And the reason we are recommending those and rolling them into the general fund in the years out is our foundation aid is to be made whole. So knowing that we are getting additional money year after year of foundation aid, well over $1 million, we'd be able to support those positions.
Okay, so it'd be roughly neutral?
Correct.
Scenario, okay.
Yep. Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I think as we indicated, this really is exciting. This is kind of a once in a career opportunity to do some really good stuff. And you can tell that because whenever we're talking budget, it's very rare that Carrie smiles. She's not smiling. So when the discourse changes in a positive, we're all very happy again. So thanks again, Carrie. I think that's a very thorough presentation, and we will take feedback on that. We are not adopting, as I said, until July 1st. So a work in progress. This came about actually, pretty rapidly, trying to put together a plan and a lot of work. So a lot of hard work on Carrie's part to really get the numbers straight. and meet with the principals and all of us together as a team to try to put together something that makes a lot of sense for the benefit of the kids. So good work, Karen. So just a couple of other things that we have going. I want to reiterate, we had the high school play, and I promised my going to talk about that. We are very, very excited. You know, lots of schools in the region and throughout the country, for that matter, had to cancel things like their high school plays or musicals. But we're very, very fortunate. Our theater department came up with a very, very creative solution to utilize our track and our bleachers as a backdrop for Greece. And it couldn't be more perfect. And so I just want to congratulate them on pulling off, I don't know, almost the impossible. And we do have some expanded capacity, so there are plenty of tickets. You know, when the governor announced on Friday, things change on a daily basis. You know, we did move to open that up further. So please find yourself some tickets Thursday through Sunday. We've got several performances each day, you know, one each day. And we're looking forward. The weather looks good, so it's looking like we're going to really have an outstanding performance starting tomorrow evening.
Of course, sneak peek last night, it's impressive.
Yeah, so great stuff, and that's so exciting. In terms of committee, so you know, our most active committee, or the committee where we have the most participation from students to community members to teachers to administrators, is our DEI committee, and that was a board initiative to make DEI a priority in our district. And you know, I've had an opportunity to be a part of that, and it's really been a very powerful conversation that we've had. We've done book studies with that committee. And I can say that, you know, we're at the point now where collectively, you know, the collective conversation that has taken place amongst the members of that committee, we do have a draft equity and education plan for 21-22 that the committee is now going through, and Mr. Soto has culled and put the information together from everyone. So I think that's exciting, and it's something that next time the committee meets, we'll be looking at that plan and being able to put it as a recommendation to the Board of Education. So some good stuff happening there, and I hate to steal Dr. Soto's thunder, but he is officially being awarded his doctoral degree today at St. John's University. So shout out to Dr. Soto, and a hearty congratulations for the work he put into obtaining that degree. I think that's about all I have. If you want to go over questions and comments.
Thank you. This is questions and comments regarding tonight's agenda only. This is the opportunity for persons who wish to speak or have written letters to the board that are included on this agenda. Speakers are asked to keep it brief. Members of the public will have the opportunity to speak about any topic at the end. So any questions about tonight's agenda only? Bill? Nothing? Okay. Board of Ed is asked to adopt the minutes of the following meeting as prepared by the district clerk. Minutes of the meeting of the Board of Ed on May 5th, 2021. That's Exhibit 1. Motion? Second? Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Is that me? That's still me?
Yeah.
You'll do?
Oh,
you want the microphone?
That's all right. Thank you. Financial reports. Be it resolved that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, accepts the following financial reports. 1, student activity report for April 2021, which is Exhibit 2. 2, internal audit claims report, April 2021, Exhibit 3. 3, treasurer's report, April 2021, Exhibit 4. 4, budget transfers, Exhibit 5.
Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Consent agenda. Be it resolved, a motion to approve the consent agenda. Asterisk. Agenda items are consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are approved by a single vote unless they are removed from the consent item prior to vote.
Motion?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. I do want to welcome.
Go for it.
I don't know that I do this, but I do want to welcome Amy Meyer. She'll be probationary director of curriculum and data management, K-12. She's sitting here in the audience with us tonight, and she'll be starting with us July 1st, 2021. I think you're joining us at a really exciting time, Amy, and we really look forward to working with you and seeing you be a successful member of the team. So thank you very much for accepting here in our district.
And yeah, I just wanted to say the same, George, so thank you for that. Welcome, Amy, it really is a pleasure. I had an opportunity to sit with Amy for quite some time and get to know her a little bit, after a pretty thorough process, that included all stakeholders, and Amy rose to the top, and we are very, very excited to have Amy joining us. So looking forward to it, Amy.
That brings us to the questions. Yeah. So this is, if you have questions about anything, really. No? And no one here does? Okay, before we get to the adjournment, I do just want to thank both of our SCOPE honorees for all the wonderful work that you do for the children in our district year after year after year. They do. My family does have some personal experience, and we know how wonderful you can be. So thank you so much for that, and congratulations. Well deserved, well deserved. That brings us to the adjournment. Motion to adjourn and move into executive session to discuss personnel matters. You can't in public because it would be a privacy issue. Something like that. Motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Yes. Motion carries unanimously. I gotta stop writing that down. Our next regular meeting is June 16th, 2021, exactly at 6. Action meeting approximately 7, location to be determined. I hope we're back live somewhere. So thank you very much for coming tonight. Safe trip home. And thank you again for coming out and supporting the budget. Have a great night.